Title: The Crumbling Dream, Inside Arsenal's Premier League Collapse. May 2025. The Emirates Stadium, North London. Arsenal's title dream didn't just fade, it exploded. Red cards lit the fuse, injuries detonated the core, and tactical flaws buried the rubble. How did a season of promise turn to ashes? The answer lies in a spiral of self-destruction. Act 1. The Discipline Disaster. Arsenal's 2023-24 title hopes began unraveling in flashes of red. 5 dismissals, 3 alone in the season's critical first 8 games, cost them dearly. Takahiro Tomiyasu's needless kick-away against Brighton, Leandro Trossard's petulant ball boot at Manchester City, and William Saliba's panicked last-man foul at Bournemouth turned wins into draws and stalemates into defeats. Each red card forced tactical chaos. A high-press system designed for 11 men collapsed into survival mode, players exhausted, and points slipped away. Arteta's plea, "We cannot continue to play with 10 men," fell on deaf ears as rivals capitalized. By spring, Arsenal had dropped 4 points directly from red card games, leaving them chasing Liverpool's relentless 90-point pace. This self-sabotage was no anomaly. It was Arsenal's curse. Since Arteta's arrival in 2019, the Gunners lead the Premier League in red cards, 18, a problem stretching back decades. Legends like Patrick Vieira and modern figures like Granit Xhaka epitomize the fine line between passion and recklessness. Even the 2006 Champions League final, where Jens Lehmann's early dismissal cost Arsenal glory, echoes in today's struggles. Opponents bait them, referees punish them, and the weight of history looms: 111 league red cards, more than any club in Premier League history. The roots run deep. Arteta's high-intensity system demands aggression, but youthful naivety and pressure to end a 20-year title drought breed desperation. Key players like Declan Rice and Saliba, usually composed, cracked under strain, mistiming tackles or lashing out. Each suspension rippled further. Saliba's absence forced defensive reshuffles, disrupting momentum. While rivals like Manchester City thrive on control, 2 reds in 2 seasons, Arsenal's emotional volatility remains their Achilles heel. To contend, they must channel their fire without burning themselves. The margin for error is gone. Red cards aren't just mistakes, they're season wreckers. Act 2. The Injury Epidemic. Arsenal's season didn't just stumble, it fractured. An injury tsunami swept through the squad, eroding Arteta's meticulously crafted foundation. Bukayo Saka, the talisman behind 28% of Arsenal's goals since 2020, vanished for 24 games. Without his electric runs and lethal final third precision, the attack flatlined. Martin Odegaard, the cerebral captain orchestrating 19% of the Gunners' creativity, joined him in the treatment room. Suddenly, Arsenal's once fluid attack became a disjointed puzzle. Gabriel Martinelli stranded on an island, Kai Havertz foraging for scraps, and opponents smirking as they parked buses unchallenged. The crisis metastasized beyond attack. Ben White, the tactical Swiss Army knife, missed 21 games, gutting Arteta's hybrid system. White wasn't just a defender, he was the glue, morphing seamlessly into midfield to overload transitions and shield the backline. His absence left gaping holes, midfielders overrun, fullbacks exposed, and Arsenal's press crumbling like a house of cards. Opponents pounced, slicing through a defense suddenly stripped of its IQ. But the deeper wound? Squad depth. While Manchester City shrugged off Kevin De Bruyne's 35% absence with luxury backups like Julian Alvarez, Arsenal's bench resembled a youth team audition. Arteta patched gaps with academy rookies and fading veterans, a stark contrast to rivals boasting £50 million reserves. This wasn't just bad luck, it was history repeating. The ghost of 2007-8 loomed large. Eduardo's leg break had derailed a title charge, exposing Arsenal's fragility. 16 years later, the same script played out. Without Saka and Odegaard, Arsenal's XG plummeted by 30%. Without White, their defensive dual success rate tanked. The Premier League is a marathon, but Arsenal were sprinting on broken legs. City and Liverpool? They had spare tires. Arteta's project, for all its progress, still danced on a knife's edge, one injury away from collapse. The lesson was brutal. In modern football, depth isn't a luxury. It's the difference between lifting trophies and nursing what-ifs. Act 3. Tactical stagnation, collapse of Arteta's master plan. Arsenal's tactical identity crumbled under the weight of absences. William Saliba's composure in defense and incisive passing had been the linchpin of Arteta's build-up play. Without him, replacements like Rob Holding recycled possession aimlessly, starving Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard of the quick vertical balls they thrived on. Similarly, Thomas Partey's midfield dominance evaporated during his injuries, leaving Arsenal's transition sluggish and predictable. The left flank turned sterile without Kieran Tierney's overlapping runs, shrinking the pitch and halving Arsenal's goal output. Arteta's system, reliant on precise positional choreography, became a disjointed mess, a stark contrast to the 50% drop in goal efficiency when key starters were sidelined. Arsenal's tactical identity crumbled under the weight of absences. William Saliba's composure in defense and incisive passing had been the linchpin of Arteta's build-up play. Without him, replacements like Rob Holding recycled possession aimlessly, starving Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard of the quick vertical balls they thrived on. Similarly, Thomas Partey's midfield dominance evaporated during his injuries, leaving Arsenal's transition sluggish and predictable. The left flank turned sterile without Kieran Tierney's overlapping runs, shrinking the pitch and halving Arsenal's goal output. Arteta's system, reliant on precise positional choreography, became a disjointed mess, a stark contrast to the 50% drop in goal efficiency when key starters were sidelined. Arteta's desperation birthed reckless improvisations, deploying Granit Xhaka at left back and Odegaard in a deeper role against Brighton in 2022 gutted midfield control, while Emile Smith-Rowe's failed false nine experiment against Villarreal exposed the cost of tactical gambles. These adjustments backfired spectacularly. Opponents exploited gaps left by out-of-position players, and Arsenal's XG plummeted by 30% in critical matches. The manager's touchline fury mirrored the chaos on the pitch, a team stripped of its DNA, scrambling to execute unrehearsed roles. Rivals pounced mercilessly. West Ham targeted Rob Holding's lack of pace, bullying Arsenal into defensive errors and a costly 2-2 collapse. Brighton, smelling blood in a weakened midfield, overran Arsenal's makeshift setup to steal a 2-1 win. Villarreal, under Unai Emery, suffocated Arsenal's patched-up attack in the Europa League semi-final, capitalizing on disjointed build-up and a leaderless press. Each match underscored a brutal truth. Arsenal's title aspirations hinged not just on talent, but on the fragile cohesion of Arteta's system, a house of cards that collapsed when key pillars fell. Act 4. Set-piece decline, from lethal to predictable. Arsenal's set-piece dominance crumbled. After leading the league with 20 set-piece goals in 2023-24, 16 from corners alone, their 2024-25 campaign saw a stark drop to just 12, with 10 from corners. Gone were the days of Nicolas Jover's dead ball sorcery. Opponents decoded Arsenal's routines, crowding the back post zones they once exploited. Last season's record-breaking corner efficiency regressed to the mean, while the zero direct free kick goals streak stretched to 4 years. What once padded their title charge now left them scrambling, as set pieces contributed just 15% of their goals, down from 25%. The impact was glaring. A 6-game set-piece drought mid-season mirrored Arsenal's stumble in the title race. Take the 1-1 draw at Old Trafford, 9 corners, 0 goals. Without Bukayo Saka's pinpoint deliveries, lost to a December injury, and aerial disruptors like the 6'4" Kai Havertz, Arsenal's routines turned stale. Gabriel and Saliba, once lethal in the air, found themselves smothered by defenders wise to their late runs. Even expected goals, XG, couldn't save them. 13.0 set-piece XG yielded only 12 goals, a far cry from the 20 goals from 14.9 XG the prior year. The reasons? A perfect storm. Saka's absence stripped Arsenal of their primary corner taker, while injuries to Havertz and Martinelli removed critical decoys and targets. Opponents, having studied Jover's playbook, parked taller defenders in Arsenal's hot zones. Add natural regression, those inch-perfect headers that once flew in now rattled the crossbar, and Arsenal's get-out-of-jail card vanished. Without set-piece bailouts, their attack leaned heavier on open play and faltered under the weight. Arsenal's transfer gamble, depth over stars. Arsenal's 2024 summer window prioritized stability over splash. Ricardo Calafiori, £42 million, bolstered defense, while Mikel Merino's, £31.6 million, midfield reinforcement turned tragic. He dislocated his shoulder in training, sidelining him for months. Raheem Sterling's loan added experience but no permanence, and the failure to replace Eddie Nketiah left Gabriel Jesus without a striker backup. The squad thinned. Aaron Ramsdale's exit left David Raya unchallenged, and Emile Smith-Rowe's departure stripped midfield creativity. Arsenal's refusal to overpay for targets like Ivan Toney or Victor Osimhen left fans questioning ambition, especially as rivals strengthened decisively. Rivals' strategic reinforcements. Liverpool and Manchester City played smarter hands. Liverpool's bargain signing of Federico Chiesa injected elite attacking flair, while Georgi Mamardashvili future-proofed their goalkeeping. City retained their treble core, re-signing Ilkay Gundogan for leadership and adding young winger Savinho for depth. Chelsea, though chaotic, splurged £130 million plus on Pedro Neto, João Felix, and Jadon Sancho, ignoring striker and goalkeeper needs but stockpiling attacking options. Arsenal, meanwhile, leaned on continuity, betting their existing core could outlast rivals' upgrades. The cost of caution. By March 2025, Arsenal's gamble showed cracks. Marino's injury exposed midfield fragility, while Jesus' fitness woes highlighted the striker void. Sterling's loan provided fleeting relief but no long-term fix. Liverpool's Chiesa and City's Gundogan delivered immediate impact, their squads weathering injuries with depth Arsenal lacked. Chelsea's bloated attack, though imbalanced, offered rotation luxury. Arsenal's title push stalled, not from collapse but from incremental erosion. The lesson was clear. In a league where rivals evolve, standing still is regression. Missed signings like Toney or Zubimendi might have been the margin between contention and consolation. Arsenal's dream didn't die in May. It faded with every red card, every physio's report, every recycled wide pass. The question now, can Arteta rewrite the script? Or was this their best shot?